What's up, everybody? It's your boy DJ Ray Ray, and we're gonna do some flight sim today. Did some modifications to the streaming platform this morning to get ready for the 40th anniversary sale. Yay! Of Microsoft Flight Simulator. What's that? Huge update today. Came out. System update 11, I want to say it is. And it will be, or it has added some sailplanes into the simulation, which is awesome because I loved back in FSX messing around with the sailplanes, and some of the visualizations were a little janky for finding thermals and ridge lift and stuff like that, but this is promised to be much better. And so before the stream, I just did a little bit of launch training just to make sure I had all the controls all set up. I really only had to modify just one, and that's the cable release for the launch. So I'm going to take y'all along on this journey to do up the there it is. Do up the flight training. That's what I meant to say. I'm all over the place here. All right. There we go. All right. Just checking out everything over here on OBS to make sure it's all good. So we're going to go down here to glider training. As you can see, I can do 42% hours already done. And that's just these arrow toes in the winch launch, which is pretty awesome. Maybe I'll talk about that later. But kind of want to get right into this basic handling and get our learn on about using some of the new instruments and utilizing the like this yaw string up here as well, and kind of getting back to basics with some stick and rudder. So I'll just read through here real quick, a little bit easier than the Twitch, having to zoom in. But glider introduction flight. Today's lesson will introduce you to the basic controls and instruments of a glider. You will launch in a DG-1001 two-seat high-performance airplane. It'll be in the front seat. Instructor will be in the back. So we're going to cruise at 4,000 feet above ground level. Perform some maneuvers so we can familiarize ourselves with the basic dynamics and systems. We'll be in Sedona, woohoo, Arizona, and we're going to learn the basics of pitch and airspeed, and increasing our rate of descent and our airspeed when they push the nose down, but decreasing when you do nose up. And then we'll get to do some constant airspeed to maintain stable flight and a predictable descent rate. And then we'll be utilizing the airspeed indicator, the vertical speed indicator, or the varometer, the altimeter, and the yaw string. So let's read a little bit more about the yaw string. The most effective skid slip indicator is a piece of yarn attached to the center of the canopy called the yaw string. It indicates whether the glider is correctly within the airstream and if the pilot is making the proper amount of coordinated rudder and aileron inputs. Centered yaw string indicates coordinated flight. So you can kind of think about this as your ball and turn coordinator. So keeping what would be the ball, the level, keeping the ball level, and then you step on the ball with the appropriate rudder pedal to make sure it's in the center. But what we're doing is we're making sure not only the airstream but our G forces are going into the directly butts against the lift. Otherwise, if you've got G forces that are going sideways and you got the wing lift that's going straight up, you're not going to maximize your lift, and that could be a problem. That could lead to you losing much greater altitude than what you anticipate. So when you're wanting to make sure you're maximizing out your lift vector, you want that yaw string to be straight up and down. Okay. Apply rudder opposite to the string deflection, or apply aileron in the same side of the string it's deflected. So with this one, we're not going to step on the ball, so we're not going to step necessarily on the edge of the string. We're going to do opposite. So we're going to, but then if we need to roll the plane, we'll roll it towards where that string is. So at the end of this lesson, you'll be able to properly steer the aircraft at different speeds, be able to trim the aircraft to maintain a constant speed and sink rate, understand how to fly coordinated flight using the yaw string as reference. Alrighty, so we're going right into this. So it is possible to fail. Hopefully not. So there's a nice loading picture. You see the number 4 there quickly. Is the speed brakes. Those things pop out pretty quickly. They create drag, but also destroy some lift as well. All right, so we're going to start in the air. Thank goodness. I'll have to do a launch out of this one. But that's me up in the front, head coming out of the canopy. I'm sure that'll need to get fixed as a visual in the future. But yeah, here we go.
Today, you'll experience soaring in a glider, what many aviators consider to be the purest form of flight. Unlike powered aircraft, a glider pilot must adjust altitude to control airspeed. To increase airspeed, push the stick forward. Pulling back on the stick will lower airspeed. Maintaining constant airspeed in a glider requires the pilot to frequently and carefully adjust stick input and elevator trim. Let's see how the glider feels at different airspeeds. With gliders, expect a delay of 1 to 2 seconds from control input to change in speed. Let's increase airspeed to 167 kilometers per hour. Gently push the stick forward to pitch the nose down as you observe the airspeed indicator.
Okay, we're moving nice and quick here. Moving nice and quick. Keep going, keep going.
At 167 kilometers per hour, pull back gently to maintain speed and trim the elevator so that the glider maintains 167 kilometers per hour without pilot input.
Okay. Doing adjustments on my stick here. Okay.
Now let's reduce our airspeed. Bring the glider to 102 kilometers per hour. To reduce airspeed, gently lift the nose by pulling back on the stick. You need less input compared to pushing the stick forward.
Yep, that is.
Turning off our airspeed will take a few moments.
Okay, almost there.
Once you're at 102 kilometers per hour, maintain that airspeed at first by stick input, and then adjust trim so no input is necessary.
Okay. Pulling back. Pulling back. Pulling back. Okay, hands off the stick. Let's go back a little bit. Nope. Nope. Okay. Not as easy as it seems. I'm moving a lot of inputs here. should be pretty darn close. Yep, yep. Come on. Okay. Trim is set. Don't know how much more trim I could do. We're losing a lot of altitude. Hey, we've got a new subscriber. The X-Men. I know who that is. Hello, and thank you for subscribing. You get a fabulous Princess Corgi. Seriously, though, we're going to run out of altitude before this thing lets us trim it out. Let me do that. Okay, yep. Aw, thanks. Welcome to the chat. Okay. Oh, come on. That trim is perfect. That is some good trimmage right there. Give me the trimmage. I mean, is it literally wanting me to like... Oh, there we go.
We will now take a look at how
Jeez.
to maneuver the glider in turns. Unlike powered aircraft, gliders require considerable rudder input to begin a turn. A vital indicator for turns is the red yaw string on the center of the canopy. We always want to keep it centered. Then we use just the right amount of rudder and ailerons for coordinated flight.
Yep, so rudders or pedals are back here.
String, apply aileron in the same direction or rudder in opposite direction of the deflected string.
And then rudders are what's on the back of the plane. They're the tail part that makes it go left and right. Okay, so I guess I'll do it from the back here. So we're going to do left. Okay, there's our left aileron. And then we'll have to kind of put the tail to wiggle the nose to left or right. Like, see, I'm kind of wiggling there. Okay, so we want to put just enough. Oh, now it's telling us to go to the right. Okay, so we'll go to the right. Okay, because this.
Steer the glider to straight and level flight again.
Okay.
Let's see what happens if we use the rudder pedals only. Apply left rudder followed by right rudder without touching the stick. Just like before, watch what happens to the string.
Okay, so we're going to do just the left rudder here. We go left, but then we also roll. And that's not what we want to do. Let's go right rudder. Send us it out.
Straight and level flight again.
Whoop. There
Now
we go.
that you understand the use of the yaw string, let's perform a circle maneuver.
Ooh, circle.
To roll the glider, apply both aileron and rudder inputs simultaneously in the same direction. Hold a bank angle of 45 degrees and keep the yaw string centered with the rudder throughout the turn.
Okay.
The glider will begin turning. To maintain the nose on the horizon, you might need to pull back slightly on the stick. Roll the ailerons and rudder opposite of your turn to a wings level attitude. Let's attempt a left 360. Then level the wings and perform a right 360. Try to keep the yaw string centered while turning.
All right, so here's our left 360, and I need a little bit more string. Oh, maybe so just enough pedal, just enough pedal. I actually didn't pay much attention to when I started the turn, so I think that's about we're about 3/4 of the way. Okay, yep, that's all the way. All right, let's do right. Okay, and it really doesn't take a lot of force on the pedals there. Like once I find where the sweet spot is, I just hold it like right there. I have a little nav map up too, so we can kind of see what my circles will look like after we're done with the flight. Made a nice fun little figure 8. All right, we're almost there, almost there, almost there.
Let's return to the airport.
Okay.
You've covered the basics, and your skills will improve with practice. You've done a great job.
Yay! Woohoo! A for effort. All right. Okay, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. It definitely uses more rudder than kind of your normal propellered airplane, so you got to kind of anticipate that. Um, but it's also smaller. That rudder's also much smaller, so I can see how that could be part of the jazz. All right. Let's see here. Let's go to all right, so here's a little nav map. And here's just kind of a little bit of a look of what our turns look like. So kind of like a figure 8. So yeah, that's not too bad. This one was bigger. This one right here was definitely bigger than this one. But I think this was the left turn. I was trying to figure out what um, yeah, I was trying to figure out what how much rudder I wanted to use, and then this one I probably did it better and made a much tighter turn. So, all right, and hello, hello, hello. Okay, let's. Oh yes, we have another follower. It's my shoe dog. 1234. Hello, shoe dog. Welcome to the stream. We're doing some flying around here in the DT 1001. Let's go see what they're gonna throw at me here in the next message, or the next lesson here. So I could have done better for my trim for hands-off flying. That's probably because I was trying to find where that sweet spot was, but all good. All right. Back to the training menu. Next, we're going to do slapping approach and landing. Oh, slipping approach. Ha! I said slapping. Slipping. So we'll talk about what slipping is. So slipping is essentially putting your controls in different directions So we, instead of using the ailerons to turn left and your rudder to help you turn left, you actually push your rudder the other direction. And what that does is it actually steepens how much your descent rate is, because you're basically making the airplane kind of fight itself and create more drag. Um, Very helpful in a glider because sometimes you want to descend faster than what your plane can normally descend. And if that is the case, doing this slipping maneuver can get you down, especially to a runway, faster than you normally would be able to. I hear my corgi in the background doing corgi things. That's Princess Lizzie. um, so we're gonna do a forward slip, and then we're gonna do a side slip. Both important maneuvers in the glider to lose altitude quickly. So we'll talk about a forward slip. So a forward slip, we want to steepen the approach with air brakes. Oh, when air brakes are not efficient enough. With a forward slip, the pilot applies full or nearly full rudder in one direction and an appropriate amount of aileron input in the opposite direction. This dramatically increases the drag, and the glider will lose altitude while keeping the direction of flight aligned with the runway. It'll make a little bit more sense when we see it. A side slip, however, is to align the aircraft's direction with the in crosswind conditions. With a slide slip, the pilot uses aileron input into the wind and then uses opposite rudder input. This counteracts the effect of the crosswind but keeps the aircraft flying in a straight line. So the side slip, sometimes referred to as a crab, lets you be able to make your ground track, so how you're traveling across the ground, go in line with the runway, even though the wind is trying to push your plane in a different direction. Um, so we're going to enter the slips, and then we're going to exit the slips for each one of those. I don't know if we're going to do them together or at the same time, because I'm going into this blind, but this is 5 minutes of training, so let's try to land and not crash. Get a drink of a tasty beverage. Ooh, so we can see that it's added the visualization here of what the wind is doing. So it looks like we have an updraft that we are fighting, which means the ground is heated and it's releasing energy. And what that's doing is it's actually making an updraft, or the wind, move up. So this usually happens, kind of end of the day after the bunch of energy has been given to the Earth, and now it's starting to cool, and the heat is rising, and that energy is causing some lift. All right, let's hop in here and see how we do. Oh, they put us
Pilots
right
sometimes need to
in the back.
reduce altitude without gaining excessive speed. Slipping is a technique to accomplish this. This technique can even allow a pilot to land a sailplane without air brakes, crucial if they break or freeze during flight. To perform a slip, the pilot holds the nose to one side with rudder input while lowering the opposite wing with ailerons. You may use either side for slipping, but it's easier to control if you apply aileron into the crosswind. We have a left side crosswind. We need to lower the left wing with ailerons while yawing the nose to the right with the rudder. I
Okay.
will advise when to start the slip maneuver during your final approach. For now, fly closer to the runway.
Okay. So there's the runway, just
Commence
kind of
the
off to the
slip
left
now.
here.
Start with right rudder.
Okay, so there's
Now
all the
apply
way to the
left
right.
aileron to keep the glider on track.
Okay.
Now, in addition onto our needed glide path.
Okay, so that,
See how quickly we're approaching the normal glide path? Let's
yes.
leave the slip now. When
Okay.
established, hold the pitch attitude by gently pulling back on the stick. Be aware that the glider will tend to speed up during this maneuver.
Yep.
Use your elevator to maintain approach speed.
It's all happening
Good
very
job.
quickly.
See how simple and efficient the slip is?
I do.
Return rudder and aileron to center position. Keep the air brakes out as required for approach. Now continue the approach. We still have left crosswind and need to align with the runway. This is done by the same technique, but with less control input. Use only enough right rudder
Woo.
inputs to align the glider's nose with the runway.
Woo.
Apply the necessary amount of left aileron input to keep the sailplane's path aligned with the runway. For track correction, use your aileron only. Keep the nose aligned with the runway with your rudder. Now it's your task to carry out the crosswind landing in this way.
Oh god. Look how sideways we are. Look how sideways. Alright, here we go. So now we're gonna level it out here, level it out here. Okay, there's the numbers. Using pedals to keep us straight, and touchdown. Okay, keep the wings level so we don't roll it on the ground. Brakes, 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 brakes.
Slipping approaches take
Woo!
time to master, but are a great way to nail your landings. You now know the basics.
Yeah.
Very precise on the controls. Carry on.
Yay! Oh man, that happened all very quickly. Yeah, the blue handle was my air brakes, and I looked out the wing and towards the end there to see what they look like as they come out of the wing. But yeah, oh my gosh, that was fun. That was fun. All right. What you guys think of that one? All right, we got two more lessons to do here, and then yeah, maybe after that um we'll do like a short little flight um, in a powered aircraft. Okay, so now we're gonna learn about thermals. Thermal training. In this tutorial, we are going to search for, identify, then fly into thermals. We'll start in the air over our German airfield that we've been flying. And pilots can use natural lift to gain altitude. Yep, altitude in gliders, greatly extending their flight times and flight distances. One of the most common forms of natural lift is a thermal. Thermal is a parcel of air that rises due to the process of convection, where solar energy heats the surface of the Earth and that heats the air above it, which then rises. By entering these bubble-like parcels of air, which often have very small diameters, glider pilots can gain hundreds or thousands of feet of altitude, especially if they fly within the core of thermals. Thermal identification. Because thermals transport moisture to higher altitudes, they're often identified by cumulus cloud form. Cumulus clouds often have the appearance of cotton balls with a flat base. Not all cumulus clouds indicate thermal with sufficient lift for a glider. A pilot must constantly be on the lookout for potential powerful thermals. Other telltale signs of thermals include dust devils and birds circling, because birds like large predatory birds like hawks or eagles, they use thermals to be able to stay up in the air and not have to flap as much. So when you see a bird circling, um, you may think that it's looking specifically for prey, but it may just be in a thermal just so that it can get up to a higher altitude and not have to flap its way there. When ending a thermal, approach at 102 kilometers per hour, wings level. At the edge, you may initially experience strong downdrafts. As you approach the core, you should feel increasing lift. Wait 2 or 3 seconds, then start the turn. If one wing has lifted more than the other while in a straight and level mode, turn into its direction, as it indicates the relative direction of the thermal core. Makes sense. So if it's lifting up your left wing, you want to turn into the left and get more into that goodness of lift. Thermal optimization. Always complete at least one circle to judge the intensity of the thermal. If you have a continuous climb rate, continue circling. If not, fly straight to exit the thermal. Keep your speed between 93 and 102 kilometers per hour. You can expect best climb rates near the center of the thermal. Once established in the thermal, aim for a constant and coordinated pitch and bank of 45 degrees, which is probably sharper than what I was doing in the turning practice, so I'll have to get better at that. Planning for your next thermal. You should constantly look for the next available thermal when circling. When the climb rate loses intensity below 200 feet per minute, head to another candidate. Skilled glider pilots constantly are searching for the next thermal to ride into the heights. All right. I'm interested to see what it's gonna look like. And when I say that, like, is it going to look like, are we gonna see it like it's a bunch of lifting, things, or are we only gonna see the cloud? And this kind of blue is just like a guide to us. Hi, Sheepy the sheepdog. How you doing, buddy? Thanks for coming and sitting with me. All right. We'll find out. We shall find out. So anyone else have any glider experience, either virtual or in real life? If so, please leave a comment. Tell me about it. I'm interested in hearing from those who've experienced this kind of awesome yet scary flying. Okay, and here we go.
Glider pilots need to continuously be on the lookout for the next thermal or other source of lift to stay aloft. Thermals are small diameter parcels of rising air. Gliders must fly in tight circles to stay within them. Cumulus clouds, which typically resemble cotton balls, are a good indicator of thermals as they often form above them.
Okay.
Thermals suited for lift often require pilots to search under a few cumulus clouds. The variometer is a vital tool for soaring. This device indicates a sailplane's rate of ascent and descent with audible tones.
Okay.
After familiarization with the variometer's tones, you'll be able to know your climb rate without referencing other instruments. A variometer indicates a climb with an interrupted high-pitch tone and descent with a continuous low-pitch tone.
Okay.
As we approach the cloud, listen closely to the variometer and be ready to turn in when its tone indicates lift.
All right. I hear the beepity beepities. Okay.
Okay, the variometer is indicating lift. Turn in and begin circling.
Okay, here we go.
Roll
So
into a 45-degree bank and complete at least one circle. Gauging a thermal strength typically requires completing at least one full turn within it.
okay. Oh, sounds like we got out of it. Maybe back in it. Oh yeah, there we go. There we go. Okay, I could probably do more turn here. Let's see.
Let's search for a thermal under a neighboring cloud.
Okay. Okay, here's our neighboring cloud. We're heading this way. I'm a little slow, so we're going to nose down a little bit. Okay, so there's that low tone. So looking for a beep, 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 beep. That sounds like one of those kazoos. Okay,
Now
there we
we'll
go.
work on keeping your circles tight and smooth. Two important rules to follow are: keep your speed low, between 93 and 102 kilometers per hour.
Okay,
Maintain a constant altitude, keeping a continuous 45-degree bank and the nose of the glider slightly above the horizon. Continue circling, maintaining a 45-degree bank angle and an airspeed between 93 and 102 kilometers per hour.
there we go. There we go. Okay. That's the sweet spot right there.
Soaring through the heights without an
All
engine
right.
is an exhilarating experience of pure aviation freedom. You are proficient enough to practice these skills solo. Go ahead and continue perfecting these maneuvers in a single-seater. Great flying.
Whew. Oh, we can look. We can hop over here to little nav map again, and we can take a look at my circles. All right, so they're more like ovals than circles, honestly. So it's actually interesting. These thermals weren't too far away from each other. So there was like one here and one here. I mean, maybe my circles are messed up. I don't know. It's kind of interesting that I've got to keep a circle maybe around like that tight. I might have also been doing some funky looping, so maybe this was like one circle, and then it went far, and then I went. I don't know. Huh? Not bad. Not bad. All right. All right. Now we're gonna learn. We're gonna learn some ridge lift. right. Stay on the windward side, avoid leeward side. Okay, so some of that I can remember from the days when I used to do sailboats. So yeah, definitely the leeward side is the backside of where the wind's coming from, and it makes sense because that the air kind of goes whoosh, spills over, but then it pulls you down. Um, Obviously, we're trying to get some lift, so we want to be on this side where the winds is. That's kind of like in Alamogordo, the winds usually come from the west into the east. So a lot of the pilots who fly gliders will fly on the west side of the mountains that are over there, and that way they can get the best lift. Let's read our training brief over here, and then we'll get to getting for our 10 minutes of learning how to ridge lift. So, ridge lift soaring ranks as one of the most spectacular and rewarding activities in the world of gliders. Certain locations throughout the globe are renowned for having conditions that are often ideal for ridge lift soaring. One of those is central Pennsylvania in the northeastern United States. Here there are several ridges that force moving air into the upper atmosphere, which gliders can ride for hours on end by carefully maneuvering above the landscape. One of those ridges is near Bellevue. I think I'm saying that right. Once we are abeam Bellevue, we will turn and fly along the ridge. As we approach Highway 322, we will return to the airport. Ooh, okay. The flight starts in the air just above Mifflin County Airfield in Reedsville, Pennsylvania. Ridge soaring basics. Ridge soaring is conceptually simple. Wind collides with a topographical barrier, like a mountain ridge, a line of hills, or a sea cliff, and is forced higher. This produces lift on the windward side and above the top of the barrier. Due to gravity and buoyancy, this moving air that has been thrust high then descends along the lee side of the line of topography. Glider pilots can take advantage of this type of lift, which can loft sailplanes thousands of feet above their starting altitudes. Pilots can ride this lift as high as it will take them or remain low and test their skills using it to gain enough altitude to keep them flying laterally for miles along the topography. Um, so, in short, you could um, try to get low instead of letting it push you up to um, go up. You can use it to push you to go forward, and then you can go fast, like really fast. As almost you're pointing downhill or down, you're pointing your nose down, going downhill while it's pushing you. You can almost think of it as kind of like when a helicopter goes forward. That's how it can go, it can move forward faster as it pitches its nose down. There are some cardinal rules for ridge soaring. Maintain enough airspeed to overcome dangerous turbulences and downdrafts. You should fly at the upper end of the green arc. Always turn away from the ridge. Never get on the leeward side. Descending lee side air can be powerful. Traffic. You'll frequently encounter other aircraft attempting to ridge soar. If you see traffic, follow these rules. The glider having the ridge on its left wing gives way to the opposite traffic by turning away from the ridge. All right, let me think about that one. The glider having the ridge on its left side gives way to opposite traffic by turning away from the ridge. Got it. So if it's on our left, we turn away. If it's to our right, then they should turn away from us. Overtaking aircraft is only allowed if you are between the slower aircraft and the ridge. All right, so if we're close to the ridge, we can go faster by the rules. So we don't want to overtake not using the ridge, or not closer to the ridge. Got it. Okay, and then it might make us land here. All right, here we go. I'm gonna stop petting the Frenchie, and hopefully he won't lose his mind, because sometimes he does that. Should be flying in the upper end of the green mark. So basically our fastest operating speed under normal conditions. Okie dokie. Here we go. Oh, goodness.
This will be your introduction to ridge lift soaring. We just launched from Reedsville Airfield and are heading toward Jack's Mountain Ridge. At prevailing winds, the ridge will generate good lift. The ridge extends over many miles, but we'll only use a short portion for introduction. Let's fly directly to the ridge and follow it in a southwesterly direction. We have a tailwind on our route to the ridge, so we'll get there quickly. As soon as you recognize ascending air during our approach to the ridge, begin a right turn.
Okay. Okay.
One of the cardinal rules of ridge soaring is to avoid the ridge's lee side due to downdrafts that often form in that region. Try to maintain as high a rate of speed as possible while flying close to terrain, as it affords the most escape options.
Okay.
Increase the speed until the vertical speed becomes 0, but stay below the yellow arc. Steer the aircraft far enough into the crosswind to avoid drift toward the lee side. We'll turn back in approximately 5 minutes when we're abeam of Belleville. Meanwhile, watch the vertical speed. If it indicates a constant descent, we should try flying closer or farther from the ridge. Watch for other traffic. Currently, we need to give way because the ridge is to our left-hand side.
Okay.
When traffic is approaching, turn right far enough to allow the traffic to pass, then maneuver back to the ridge.
I got us moving nice and quick. We're still kind of descending. I was expecting us to lift a little bit more. Scooch us over a little bit more. I'm gonna come this way more. Feel like I don't want to be like right over the top of it.
We are abeam Belleville. Let's turn back.
Okay.
Remember to turn away from the ridge.
Okay, trying to speed us up again. Kind of just maintaining altitude, which is good, I guess. Oop, going too fast. I feel like this is better. I feel like a little bit in in the yellow zone here is the sweet spot to be. We're getting too slow though. Turn this way, and then more of the yellow. Speed it up again, speed it up again. There we go.
This is Highway 322. Let's return to the airport. It's off your left wing.
Okay.
Great flying. You can definitely explore ridge soaring on your own now. You
Yeah.
can also go up for another round if you aren't comfortable yet on your own. You've
Uh,
done a great job.
Thank you. Thank you, instructor pilot friend. All right, let's look at this one. So I'm gonna do something a little different here. Let's go to our tools here so we can change which map. Nope, nope, nope. I'm gonna have to do it from the window that I know it's at. So here, let's change this to really a terrain view. And then let's go back to full screen. Okay, so, kind of looking at the ridgy ridge. So the places where the rings are really tight to each other is where the most change in elevation is. And it's very possible that we weren't necessarily in the sweet spot where we could have got the best lift. We also weren't like directly over, so maybe we could have gone a little bit closer. I mean, we didn't fall out of the sky, but we didn't gain thousands and thousands of altitude, so there's that too. All right, fabulous. All right, so here's my score. Not as great as the other scores have been, mostly because I was kind of fighting to keep the speeds locked in. Reach the ridge and enter the ascending air. Yeah, we probably could have done better there. But if we go back to our training menu, that's it. We are 100% for glider training. Yay! Awesome. I'll eventually do some of this stuff on my own. Um, this I would actually like to do maybe a little bit more focused. Maybe I'll do some videos on that because the rest of this, except for the airliner training, kind of got under my belt in real life. Um, but that being said, let's go back to our main menu. Yep, sure do want to go there. All right. So I think I'm going to take a quick potty break. That gives me a chance to try out the intermission screen tool. Um, but and then we can go, and what we'll do is we'll plan a short, relatively short night flight in the Bonanza V-tail. And don't worry, I'll be back. I'll be back. Um, yeah, we'll plan that out, and then I will look and see what air traffic control on VATSIM is up to see if it's worth flying on the VATSIM audio server or if we'll just use our AI air traffic control. But wow, let's go pull up something to take a look at. Actually, what would be really cool is let's change. I mean, we'll fly that, but let's change the aircraft and let's look at some of our other new planes that are out here that have been added. Um, so we've got the Curtis Jenny, old school plane there. Of course, we have our sailplanes there, our DGs. But what about this one? Our Douglas DC. Let's put that there in the background. Um, let's find some cool liveries that we could put up there. Like a blue and black one. This one's called Old Dusty. There's a world travel. There's a cargo one. This one's just classic metal. Oh, that's pretty cool. Oh yeah, that's pure metal, all right. Tell you what, we'll do this one, and I'll kick on the intermission screen there. Haha! All right, be back in 10 mins to start flight planning. See you soon. All right, everybody, we are back. Very exciting. At a chance of having some GTA 5. I too have GTA. It would be cool if you have 1 billion fowlers. Ah, yes. All the 1 million birds just all quacking and chirping. Be awesome. Hello, the X-Men's Bro 2. Welcome. Welcome to the chat. Make sure you saw it, but you get a special corgi greeting from Princess Corgi. All right, so we are going to come take a look at our little nav map over here. So we'll exit full screen and I'll do a new flight plan. And I'll just get rid of that over here. So we're gonna do a little bit of a night flight. I'm gonna set us up with our charts here, but so here's the United States, and we're gonna come down here to Florida. Um, Ooh, SnowRunner or Farming Simulator 2022. Very cool. Let's see. Um, See, I'm a PC user, so I gotta go with the PC as being the better one to use. But to each everyone their own opinion, their own opinion. So we got Pensacola that's over here. That's where we're gonna take off from. And last time when I was here, I parked over here in spot number 44. So go bloop right there. And we're going to go from Pensacola. Let me change this to Google Maps. So we're going to go from Pensacola all the way over to Gulfport. So this is the big Gulfport Biloxi airport. Um, we absolutely can do a flight over in New Mexico. We won't do that tonight, but in a future stream, I will make sure that we get that all set up so we can fly to different fun places, and I will let you guys help me pick where we'll fly to. But as of tonight, we're gonna come here to Gulfport, Mississippi. We'll set that there is where we're going to go to, and then as an alternate, just in case we can't make it there to Gulfport, we'll set our alternate here at Lot International in Pascagoula. Alrighty. Fly to McDonald's just for a burger. You know, that's all that money, all that fuel. Just get a burger. It's all good. So what I'll do here is I'll take off the airspaces and I'll pull up our IFR map. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to find a nice highway. I put that in quotes. Um, and um, but we're gonna find a nice highway to jump onto, so we can follow that. Um, and seeing as we're gonna be taking off to the west here, I mean, we really can just pick up somewhere along the way here that makes a lot of sense. So maybe if we just go to this plebe, this is a good way to get on the airway. So I'm actually just going to click here and say, hey, let's go ahead and add plebe there. And then we can just kind of continue on to where we want to go. Actually, that's really far. I didn't realize how far that was. Too far. Too far. Let's take plebe off. Because what we're really trying to do is we're really just trying to get here to Gulfport. And Victor 20 gets us there. So let's do this. Let's go here to Loxley. We'll go to Loxley. We'll go to the SJI. And then we'll pull all the way here to Gulfport. There we go. Right there. Gulfport. And I'll just need to bump that one up one. Thunk. There we go. All right. We're going to do instrument flight rules. So IFR 8,000. Oh man, the chat's going crazy. All right, keeping up with chat here. So, how much airtime do I have? So, in the simulator, I have 154 hours. My next level is going to be 200 hours. But in the real world, I have about 110 hours. And I'm also fortunate enough to have about 5 of those hours in F-16 fighter planes, which is pretty awesome. But yeah, most of my flying though is done in southern New Mexico. So like Alamogordo, Las Cruces, Ruidoso, those places. Some El Paso, flown to El Paso too. It's good stuff. Um, do you have to buy Flight Simulator? You do, although I was told that you can get like the basic Flight Simulator if you have Xbox Pass or like the Gold Pass or whatever the heck it's called. Um, yeah. And then for my favorite plane, I would say at least my favorite right now because I go to pick a bunch of different planes and I'm like, oh, now that's my favorite. Oh, no, that's my favorite. Oh, no, that's my favorite. But my favorite one right now, and we're going to fly it tonight, is this Bonanza V-tail. I like this blue one. But yeah, and the great thing about the V-tail is one, it's like the F-117 stealth fighter, V-shaped tail. Um, and then, but the reason that this particular plane has the V tail instead of like the up and down tail and then the um, what would be the horizontal stabilizers back there is it has less surfaces, so it has less drag on it, and so it'll actually go faster. Especially with the big old engine in the front and the three bladed propellers. It's actually a really fast plane, and that's what we're using tonight. Yep. So yeah, I think we can probably do another stream. I mean, I could see we'll finish up the stream today, but then we'll see tomorrow. Maybe we'll do a Southern New Mexico flight. Like, well, maybe we'll take off from Alamogordo. Maybe we'll go some different places. I'll have the viewers kind of help pick where we could go. Yeah, we could probably. I think we can probably do that in the future. Um, cool. We are going to go right into. I did a quick look. There's not a lot of things going on VATSIM, so we're just going to let the sim do sim things. And I've got all the things I think I need in here. So I'm going to save a flight plan where you guys can't necessarily see me do this, but that's okay. But we'll pull it up on here. All right, so we're going to go to our world map. We've got our Beechcraft all plane all set up. We'll look and see how much fuel we actually need for this flight. So we're going to need 18 gallons, but we got 22 right now. I'm totally good with that, so we'll leave that there. And we got a couple passengers and a little bit of baggage. I'm good with that too. All right. So I'll come down here and I'll open up the flight plan I just finished with a little nav map. Flight plan. Pensacola to Gulfport. All right, so this is what it's going to look like. We're going to take off from Pensacola. Over here's Panama City. And Fort Walton Beach. But we'll start here at Pensacola. And then we're going to come up here so we can get on the highway in the sky. And we'll come to this navigation radio. And then we'll come down here to Gulfport. And we'll land right here on the Gulfport runway. And depending on which way they send us out, maybe we'll see some of these barrier islands out here. But we're gonna use some real weather and real time. So it's gonna be night flight, and that'll be a challenge in itself. So yeah, there we go. I got all the night lights. And then as you can see, there are other people that are actually flying. So maybe we'll see some of them while we're out and about flying, hopefully. Yep, there's somebody nearby. Okay, so as that loads right now, I'll talk about some of my favorite foods. I mean, I love a good pizza. I love a good, delicious, mouth-watering pizza. But I also love street tacos, like fish street tacos, even kind that you can get from like San Diego, and they're got some uh, shredded up fish, and they got some cilantro in there, and they got some what else? What else is in there? Uh, Some get crazy and put a little rice in there. It's awesome. It's fabulous. All right, so here's the Bonanza V-tail. As you can see, it's nice and dark. So we're gonna hop in the plane here, and we're gonna have just the flashlight looking around. But what I'll do is I will make sure we get all of our lights on here. Maybe I say this. Oh, there we go. Lights. And there should be a light switch up here somewhere. Nope. 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 Ah, here it is. Okay. All right. And let's turn the battery on. Okay, cool. Lights on there. And my instrument panel. There we go. All right, now we can see things. That's helpful. All right, I'm gonna pull up my checklist over here on the side, so you guys see that. Do, 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 do. All right, so we'll go ahead and open the door up. Nice and loud outside, and then we'll also open the window up here as well. Get some fresh air. All right, so we got our parking brake is set, and we've got all of our electronics here are all off except for our lights. So that's all good to go. We've got our cowl flaps open. Electronic trim is set. And we're going to turn on our beacon light. And we'll check our fuel. So we got a half tank of fuel on the left wing, half a tank on the right. So that's great. Oil temperature is already nice and warm and in the green. All that stuff looks good. All right, moving on. We'll go ahead and give the engine mixture. We'll give it full gas, and we'll make sure our propeller is at its highest RPMs. Then we'll put our throttle in. And then what we're going to do is we're going to turn on the fuel pump and just make sure that we're getting fuel, which we are. Okay, we'll turn that off. And then we'll get our fuel set up, or our throttle set up for start. Okay, so let's do a quick look around. Make sure nobody's in the way. Okay, we're going to get our engine key set, and then we'll yell out the window here. Clear prop. All right. All right, and now that we're started up, we can turn on our outside lights, and we can close this door. We'll keep that open for just a little bit here. All right. Check and make sure the engine's doing. Alright. I do have a camera to turn on to the stream. Once we get up in altitude, I'll go turn the camera on so you guys can look at my face, probably more of the room and everything. And then Burvo is back. Hello, Burvo. Welcome back. Great to hear from you. We're getting ready to bring this V-tail over to Gulfport. Alright, so let's get our alternator switch on, and we'll check to make sure we got good voltage, and we do, so we're charging. And let's turn our avionics on. Alright, all of that looks good. Okay, we'll make sure our flaps are up, which they are. Alright. I'm going to close this window up real quick, and then we'll see what the weather is.
Pensacola Airport information, Echo 0100 Zulu. Wind 253 at Niner. Visibility 10. Sky condition, few clouds at 4,800 feet. Temperature 22. Dew point 10. Altimeter 29.83. ILS runway 17 in use. Landing and departing runway 26. VFR aircraft say direction of flight. All aircraft read back hold short instructions. Advise controller on initial contact. You have Echo.
Alright, so we have information Echo. And as I'll pull up a little nav map in the kind of sub browser here. And so let's go to the Google satellite. So we're right here, the yellow plane. And what we're going to want to do is we're told that runway 26 is where we're going to take off from. So we'll end up just taxiing out here on whatever taxiway this is, probably Charlie. And we'll come to Charlie, we'll hook a right, we'll come down here, and then right here we'll run up the engine, check it, make sure it's good, and then we'll run and take off runway 26. That sounds perfect. So yep, this is the training side of the airport, and versus the airliner side of the airport over here. But that should be good. I'll put this up to full screen. Maybe. Ha! Here we go. Okay, now we're going to get our clearance to fly the route that we filed our flight plan for. So let's see what they tell us if we're good to go.
Clearance delivery Beechcraft November 829er Kilo IFR to Gulfport ready to copy.
Beechcraft November 829er Kilo is cleared to Gulfport Airport as filed. Takeoff runway 26 climb and maintain 8,000 feet. Departure frequency is 125.35 squawk 6421.
Okay, so to read all of that back, we're going to take off of runway 26, and then we're going to climb up to 8,000 feet. And then at 8,000 feet, we'll probably let off.
Did you hear my last transmission?
I did. I'm going to read that back, and then we're going to set the 6421 in our transponder code over here so the air traffic control can see us.
November 829er Kilo cleared to Gulfport Airport as filed. Takeoff runway 26 climb and maintain 8,000 feet. Departure on 125.35 squawk 6421.
Beechcraft 29er Kilo readback is correct. Contact ground on 121.9er when ready to taxi. Good day.
Okay, so we've got our code plugged in here so that distinguishes us from other airplanes. We know that we're going to take off from runway 26, so I'm actually just going to put that in as our heading bug there. And then we are going to make sure that we've got the first VOR station that we need in the flight plan, so give me just a moment. As I look over here, the first place we're going to go is SJI, which is 115.3, so 15.3. So I'm going to go here, I'm going to spin this to 15.3, and I'll make that a primary. And then we'll make sure we're looking. So when we're in the air, this will probably start moving around and telling us, make sure we're going the right direction. Yep, we can do that later, but we got everything else good to go. And we'll get our ground clearance. We'll probably end up following that airplane. All right, let's request our taxi.
Bullet ground, Beechcraft, November 829er Kilo, with Foxtrot ready to taxi IFR.
Beechcraft, November 829er Kilo, taxi 2, and hold short of runway 26 via taxiway Charlie. Contact tower on 119er.9er when ready.
Alrighty, taxi to 21 via Charlie, and then 19.9 when ready for 29er Kilo.
Taxi 2 and hold short runway 26 using taxiway Charlie Beechcraft 29er Kilo.
Oh, there's another plane. We're gonna follow that guy out. It's gonna be busy today. Okay, look left, look right. All right, so consoles like PlayStation 4 and Xbox, they can stream on Twitch. However, you still need a computer, and what you end up doing is you end up connecting what's called a video input card to your computer, and that will let you the video from. Ooh, they got close. The video that comes from your console will be played through your computer and then to Twitch. I don't have any of that set up because I always stream on PC. Wonder where those other planes were going. Seeing that runway 26 is actually where we want to take off from. Oh well, as long as they don't try to take off in front of me. Alright, so we're just gonna coast down to the end here. Alright, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna spin us this way so that we can point ourselves in the wind a little bit for engine run up. Alright, parking brake is going to be set. Let me pull up my checklist for this. Alright, radio set, instrument set. We're going to do the throttle up to 17,000 RPM. Just okay. Get the engine going. And then we'll make sure that we've got each one of it's really hard to see. Might skip this one because I can't see where the key is. Oh, there it is. We got to turn the key down and make sure the engine doesn't stop. Okay. And then what we'll do is we'll move the propeller control. And we'll watch the RPMs drop. Yep, they did. And then back up. And then we'll pull the mixture. And yep, RPMs go up, or go down and then back up. And we'll go all the way back. Make sure it doesn't stall. Yep, and then back to 1,000. All right, we are all set. So let's check. We'll do doors are secure, seat belts are set, flaps are set, mixture set. And let's turn on our strobe light, and let's turn on our landing light. And we're ready to contact tower. All right, Pensacola Tower. Beach 29er Kilo, ready to go, runway 26.
Pensacola Tower, Beechcraft, November 829er Kilo, ready for IFR departure, runway 26.
Beechcraft November 829er Kilo, altimeter 29.84, wind 253 at 7. Cleared for takeoff, runway 26.
All right, clear for takeoff, runway 26, Beach 29er Kilo.
Runway 26, Beechcraft, November 829er Kilo.
Okay, last look for traffic. And full power. All right, there's 70 knots. We'll pull the stick back just a bit. And away we go. Tap the brakes. And positive rate. Wheels are coming up. All right, wheels are up, and we're going to look for 107 knots in the climb here.
Beechcraft 29er Kilo, contact Pensacola departure on 125.35. Good day.
All right, go to departure on 2535. Have a great one.
Pensacola Tower, please say again transmission for Beechcraft 29er Kilo.
Oh, push the wrong button.
Beechcraft 29er Kilo, contact Pensacola departure on 125.35. Good day.
125.35 for Beechcraft 29er Kilo.
Okay, so we'll switch over to departure from their airspace and get in touch with them. So we'll go Pensacola departure, Beechcraft 29er Kilo at 2,600 climbing.
Pensacola departure, Beechcraft November 829er Kilo is at 1,700
All right, so we were given the clearance to go directly where we want to go, which is fabulous. So we'll continue our climb here. Then head to that Loxley intersection. So we'll look here at our map, and so we're gonna catch the pinkish line. We'll look outside the plane. Looking fabulous. There's the airport we left. And there's the moon. Oh, that looks nice. It looks like some baseball fields down there. Okay, so we're crossing the purple line, and what I'm going to do is it's telling me that we want to go 302 degrees on the compass, so we will lock that in on the compass there, and we'll just kind of keep it going that way. Okay, we're 4,000 feet. We're looking good on our engine performance. I'm kind of drifting. Let me come around this way. Kind of use this this road up here. All right, we just passed 5,000 feet, so we got about 3,000 more feet to go. We look at our power and our engine flow, all of that's going well. We're moving at 120 knots about. It's been a while since I've converted knots to miles per hour, but I can probably share that here in a bit. Okay, so what I can do is I can spin this little dial for our reference to right about there, and then I'll hit our GPS button, and that'll tell us how close we are to where we're supposed to be. And we're pretty darn close. Always kind of keeping a lookout for other airplanes. Man, that moon looks pretty. some temperature adjustments. All right, just past 7,000 feet, so just got a little bit more to go at the climb, and then we'll start locking in our autopilot. Turn this way a little bit more. All right, about 200 more feet to go, so I'm going to kind of level us out a little bit. Give us a little bit more speed. Maybe too much speed because now it's trying to point its nose down. All right, and we'll come over here to the autopilot. We'll say, give me some navigation and lock in my altitude. I'll make sure we're right there at 8,000. It's kind of been quiet on the radio, actually. Okay. Now that we are at cruise, go ahead and close our cowl flaps, and we'll set our cruise. Actually, first we'll do our mixture control. So we're gonna take away gas, try to make it nice and warm here. So you want to make it the warmest exhaust gas temperature you can, and then give it a little bit more gas so you get the ratio right. And then we're going to go here, we're going to move our propeller speed right down to 2,300 RPMs. And that should get us somewhere around the range of about 13 gallons per hour. Alright, and now we're all set. We're cruising at just a little under 140 knots indicated, and our ground speed is 151. Yeah, we are set. Ooh, there's an airplane off of our wing over there. Traffic is no factor, but that's cool. I'm gonna set up a little nav map over here to look at our projection theme. Here we go. Theme. This is the thing I was looking for. We want IFR low theme. I'm going to zoom out a bit here. Okay, so let's look at a little nav map. All right. So right now we've taken off over here, and we've reached the top of our climb. So we're going to get on this highway in the sky. This is V241. It's going to take us to this nav point right here, which is a radio tower, also known as a VOR. And well, it's VOR TAC-N. And then from there, that's going to take us right into Biloxi, which hopefully at that time they give us which direction we're going to land on the runway and what system we're going to use. Alrighty, so by popular demand, I'll put the cam on. Hello everybody. Welcome to stream. I've got the headset on, and I've got my track IR thingy on that lets me look around the cockpit. I am getting the warning that my headset battery is getting low, so I'm going to plug that in. Give me just a moment.
Beechcraft 29er Kilo contact Jacksonville Center on 134.15. Good day.
All right. Just got right back on when they told me I gotta change here. So I'm gonna acknowledge that handoff clearance.
134.15 Beechcraft 29er Kilo.
All right, off to 3415 for Beach 29er Kilo. And Jacksonville Center, Beach 29er Kilo with you, 8,000 inbound to Loxie.
Jacksonville Center, Beechcraft November 829er Kilo, 8,000 feet. Beechcraft November 829er Kilo, Jacksonville Center, altimeter 29er.84, continue to Loxley as planned.
Okay. So yep, I've got my Red Bull flag. We've got my outline of the Nürburgring. I've got some signed memorabilia. Uh-oh, now we're going to Houston. Going to Houston Center on 2765, Beach 29er Kilo, thanks.
Going to 127.65, Beechcraft 29er Kilo.
Houston Center, Beach 29er Kilo with you at 8,000 inbound for Loxie.
Houston Center, Beechcraft November 829er Kilo, 8,000 feet. Beechcraft November 829er Kilo, Houston Center, altimeter 29er.84, continue to Loxley as planned.
Okay, so I'll turn my track IR back on, but we are getting close to the old Loxie location there, so we're going to start. Autopilot's going to have us start making our turn. So where we're flying now is north of the Bay of Mobile. So there's Mobile, Alabama over there. And that bridge right there is very, very long. It's actually pretty close to the water too. And then downtown area is over here. There's actually a big battleship called the USS Alabama. That's a point of interest in the game. So that's pretty cool. All right, so we just finished our turn. We're on the Victor, 241 highway, and yeah, we just kind of cruise for a little bit. So how's everyone's day going? Is the Papa John's at the X-Man and X-Man Bros house yet? I'm going over here and getting my charts set up just in case I'm going to need those. Alrighty, so as I look at my fuel, we've gone through a quarter of a tank on the left side, so I'm going to reach down here and I'm going to go ahead and flip that over to the right tank. That way we are taking fuel from both sides, as we may need to. And then I'm also going to look ahead and I'm going to see what our VOR for Gulfport is, and it's 10900. So I'm going to put that in two places. I'm going to put it one here, 10900, so that I'm ready to switch to that. But I'm also going to put it in down here as well. That way I can go here and I can switch between the two. Oh, look at that. We can. Yep, we certainly can. So that means we're 60 nautical miles away. Sweet. Good time to get a tasty beverage. I'm going to set us up for when we hit our next turn spot. That's going to be right there. So we're going to head 241 basically. So 24 on the compass. So know which way we're turning. know what I can do right now. Let me pause the track IR. So I have my handy dandy flight calculator here somewhere under the buried under the table for some reason. Oh, why is this buried under the table? There we go. It was literally that was buried under the table. All right, flight calculator. So this is a fun pilot tool that lets you do conversions. And so I'm going to put how many knots I'm traveling here. So I'll put, let's say, 140. So if I want to do miles per hour versus knots, I'm going to look on the outside of the device, and I'll look for time, liters, meters, seconds, airspeed, kilometers. Oh, is it this one? Yeah, I think it's this one. Okay, so I put that speed, and then I look at statue miles here. So if I am traveling 140 knots, and I'll show you this one over here, but we are just under 180 miles an hour, about 178 miles an hour. So there's the whiz wheel that will tell you that. So you take the little arrow that's right here, where my finger is, and then you look around and you find where the equivalent is in statue miles, or what we use for miles per hour, and that makes the conversion for you. So yeah, we're doing about 179 miles an hour right now in the air. And if we across the ground, we're doing 150. So let me set that there, and that is exactly 190 miles an hour. So this is a very fast plane. If you think about if you were traveling on the road, maybe you could get 75, maybe 80 miles an hour, but you might get a speeding ticket on the road. Yep, we're doing 190. So this plane is a great way to travel. Again, very quiet on the radio today. There's not a lot of traffic in the air. My fear is we're going to get to... Oh, look, there's a runway down there. It's, is that downtown Mobile? Nope, that's Mobile Regional right there. My fear is that we're going to get close to Gulfport, and then there's going to be a bunch of traffic that we're going to have to dodge and deal with. We'll see. But right now we're 2.5 nautical miles away from our turn point, and that really is less than that because this is our slant distance. So it also we also have to take into account that it's on the ground and we're kind of looking at it like downward. So when we pass over, it's not really going to be 0. It's probably going to be maybe closer to like 1.2 miles, 1.3, something like that, because of how high up we are. Now our GPS track is going to get us turned here to the left, and then we'll be heading straight into Gulfport. Okay, so a couple things to take in there. So we're given a VOR DME to runway 32. Okay, I'll have to look at that.
Power
Um,
on 12.3.7 Beechcraft 29er Kilo.
but he basically handed me off and said, "Hey, go fly your own approach," which is okay, I guess. But now we're gonna have to start kind of planning how we're gonna do that. So 32, that's gonna be, I mean, essentially north, landing to the north. So we got a Gulfport Tower here. Let's talk to Gulfport Tower.
Gulfport Tower Beechcraft November 829er Kilo, tree 9er miles northeast inbound for DME Zulu runway tree 2 approach.
Beechcraft November 829er Kilo Gulfport Tower. Altimeter 29er decimal 851 com cleared VR DME Zulu runway tree 2 approach.
Okay, so they gave us
Cleared VOR DME Zulu runway tree
to
2
come on in.
approach, Beechcraft 29er Kilo.
So I'm gonna go ahead and take a look on what that actually looks like. Goodness. Okay. This is gonna be interesting. All right. So the good news is that we can continue on to here. However, we are gonna have to switch over and pay attention because we're gonna continue to fly the way we're going, but then at about 12 miles out, when we get to about 12 miles away, probably closer to 13, we're gonna have to take a left and we're gonna swing out and do a couple. We're gonna make like a big circle around the airport. So we're basically gonna head towards the airport, then we turn left and we're gonna make a big right-hand circle to the airport until we are on a specific radial that they want us to be on, which is going to be 307. So we'll set that up right now. So we're gonna go 3 da 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 da. So there's 3, and then we'll just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Sweet. And then we'll flip our radio over to that one. So let's make sure they match. So 0900, 0900. I'm gonna push this button to make sure it beeps. Yep. Probably hard to hear on the Twitch stream, but it did give us some beeps in Morse code. Sweet. So yeah, we're gonna stay the course until we're 12 miles out. And we'll make our left hand. Actually, I'm gonna do about 13. Give us a little bit of a grace period there. And then we shall make our left turn. We'll switch out of GPS, and we will what else are we gonna do? We will descend to 5,000. In fact, we probably want to get to 5,000 before we get 12 miles out, so that probably means we're going to start pretty soon here. So let's do that. We're going to descend down to 5,000. It'll take 6 minutes for us to do that at this current speed. So we will go reduce the throttle. And then we will set this down to 5,000 and engage. And now we're going to do 500 feet per minute. And we'll just keep that nice down there in the green operating area. Okay. So I will share with you. What that looks like. Maybe. Maybe. Ha, there we go. All right, that looks a little better. Here, let me see if I can scooch that over to this side. Okay. There we go. So, yep, essentially we're looking to come over here at the 12 miles out. And we do some circly business as we descend down to 1700. Come in here, and then we should be able to see the runway from there. It's gonna be amazing. Yeah, so actually we've been given a lot of freedom. Have you ever shot down a plane? Well, in a different simulation, which is DCS, Digital Combat Sims, yes, I have. And on my YouTube, you can go to some of my older videos and you can see exactly that content. Also bombing. We do some bombing, some shooting some rockets. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff on my YouTube channel. So yeah, feel free to head there. I can drop a link in the description if you like as well, or in the chat if you like that as well. Okay, backing off the speed again, and we're gonna bring up. Our fuel mixture. So there is a runway here, but that is Keesler Air Force Base. Not going to be helpful for us to land there. And then over here is Ocean Springs. We probably would have normally landed there today, but I wanted to do this ILS or this runway approach. But they gave us the odd approach, but we'll make the best of it. All right, we're passing through 6,000 feet, and we're 18 miles away, so we probably got another 5 miles before we're going to make our turn. pull my descent checklist up here. So altimeter set, cowl flaps are closed, power set, mixtures set. Good to go. Alrighty, 400 feet to go. Everything's looking pretty good here. Kamikaze wood. I don't even know the answer to that. Probably a lot. Using kamikaze wood. Alright, so bringing the power back in as we level off. It's 5 woods. Alright, good to know. Alright, so we're going to turn our autopilot off because we're going to hand fly this the rest of the way in. And we'll start making our turn here. And we'll switch this over. To our VOR. Okay, again, our goal is to fly in a way where we're about 12 out, so we're a little close now with the 11. So we got to keep going this way until we extend out a bit. I'll look at my chart real quick. So when we're like 191 radial, that's when we can descend. Actually, that's a 091 radial. Just that real quick. Oh, I'm turning. Turn back this way. We are going to go over the water, so I mean, that's kind of cool, because I don't think we were initially thinking we were going to. It's a little dark for the barrier islands. Okay, I'm a little high. Okay, we just crossed the 091 radial, so that means we can continue our descent now. And we're going to go down to 1,700 feet. We can basically see the airport right over there. There is a point of interest out there. That's what that little blip is. That ship island that's out there, and there's a fort. One of my other videos on YouTube for the streaming charity Extra Life last week was flying out to that fort in a amphibious plane called the Icon A5. So you might, if you've seen that video or you joined me for that stream, that might look familiar. Okay, so we're extending our range out a little bit more. Fort Zancudo? No, it's Fort Frederick, I think is the name of it. What is Fort Zancudo from? Interested? Ah, from GTA 5. Alright, good to know. Good to know. Okay, so we're actually starting to get to a point where we're getting close to meeting up with our approach radial, which means I'm actually going to slow us down a lot. That alarm is telling me that I've got my speed, or I got my throttle setting too low for not having my landing gear down, so I just dropped that down and just put down one shot of flaps there. And now we're going to kind of just cycle our way in here. I was just wondering, can you stream Twitch on PS4? So you can, but you still need a computer. You need, you need a computer that can have an input to where you put your PlayStation 4, the output video, so probably an HDMI, goes into that card, and then that card can display the game. So a lot of YouTubers can do that, or they do that. In fact, some of them will have videos on how they do that. Now, I don't have a console that I stream from, so I don't have all the stuff to be able to do that. Alright, so we're going to do our pre-landing checklist. So we're going to give full fuel mixture. We're going to go ahead and push our RPMs all the way to high. And we're going to start setting in our speed here. Alright, let me quickly look over here, because it is going to be 6 miles out is where I can start descending, which we're at 6.4, so really close. Alright. Here's the 106 radial, or I'm sorry, the 6 mile out on the 307 radial.
Beechcraft 29er Kilo Wind 261
All right, clear to land, runway 32, beach 29er kilo.
Cleared to land runway tree 2 Beechcraft 29er kilo.
I am doing fabulous this fine night. And we're gonna make a wonderful looking approach onto final here. So I'm gonna start slowing us down. We're gonna get our full approach flaps on. We're gonna look to have about 70 knots on the airspeed here for landing. Download Twitch on the computer. Yep. With HDMI connector stream on Twitch. Yep, that's correct. Like I said, there's probably people who can explain it so much better on YouTube. They probably can tell you what cart you can buy to make that work. do a barrel roll. Maybe not right in this portion where I'm getting ready to land. That'll definitely mess up my landing. Cool thing about airplanes is right now, like, I'm not having to actually use the controls to go up and down. I'm really just using the throttle. So if I give it more throttle, I don't fall as fast. If I give less, I start falling. So all I really have to do is make these little tiny adjustments and I can head right for the runway. The plane is so balanced. Okay, I feel like we're getting low, so I'm going to give it more power. Then less, and then more. That red and white on the side is telling me I'm right where I need to be. If I see two reds, I'm too low. If I see two whites, I'm too high. Passing over the road. All right, there's the numbers. Okay, power's coming off, and we're just gonna float right over the runway. And welcome to Gulfport, everybody's. He said, get off the runway. Alright, so we'll put our flaps up here. We'll pull our cow flaps back so we get some air to the engine. What would happen if you disobey their orders? Well, the great thing is the in this, because this is a simulation, nothing. But in the real world, oh my gosh, they would take your pilot's license. They would take away your yeah, they take away your pilot's license in a heartbeat. They don't even care. All right. Hello, fire truck. Why are you coming to me? All right, going to ground.
120.4 for Beechcraft 29er Kilo.
All right, let's turn off landing lights. Let's turn off our strobe. We don't blind anybody. We can turn our transponder off. Didn't need any peat. Oh my god. Oh, jeez. Okay, I'm moving. Gosh. What a jerk. And we'll come over here to ground. And we're going to just request taxi to parking.
Gulfport ground, Beechcraft November 829er Kilo request taxi to parking.
Beechcraft November 829er Kilo taxi to general aviation parking via taxiway Echo.
Oh, why thank you. So kind. Taxi parking via Echo 29 Kilo.
Parking via taxiway Echo Beechcraft 29er Kilo.
Alright, we're just going to swing her around this way. Park over here by the big hangars. Let's see. Anybody mind if I take this last parking spot down here? Guess not. Alright. Swing on in here. Cool. Alright. Let's get that parking brake on. Let's check all of our engine settings. All look good. Yep, that was great. Yeah, that was a really great flight. Everything worked out pretty good. We didn't have to do any craziness. I'm going to turn the electronics off. All of that set. Alright, I'm going to pull the engine power off, and there we go. Woohoo! Added a 52-minute flight to our night numbers. Yep, there's my total flight count number right there. Alrighty, well, thanks everybody for joining me on this fabulous adventure together. Love to do it again, but we'll get a little bit more crazy next time. We'll pick a plane where we can do some barrel rolls at altitude. And poke around southern New Mexico and West Texas. I think that would be freaking fabulous. So I'm gonna, oops, wrong one. I'm gonna leave you with some cool looking pictures of the VTAL we just flew. And thank you all for joining. I gotta say my catchphrase, so remember, gaming and gunpowder, live by one, die by the other. Peace.